I'm Josh Cooperman, and this is Convo by Design with a sampling from the summer edition of the Designer Showcase event at Design Hardware. Every season, we invite some of the most talented creatives from across the Southland and the United States to participate in strategic conversations, interviews, product launches, and panel conversations. This is part of Design Hardware's commitment to the design community. And we got a little bit from that event. This episode of the show features two very talented, yet very different creatives. The first is Jaime Rummerfield, who you have heard before on the podcast. Jaime is an old friend and a crazy talented designer. You've heard her before, usually with Ron Woodson of Woodson and Rummerfield's House of Design, but things change. And Jaime's gone out on her own. What's that like? You're going to find out. Then you're going to hear from Marcos Santana of Alloi. Marcos is an architect and general contractor with a very unique perspective on the work and art that is architecture. And you're going to hear all about it right after this. I am just incredibly proud of this partnership I've got with ThermaSol. They have been presenting partners of Convo by Design going on 5 years now. And there is a certain amount of pride that comes with saying that the show is presented by the company that is the best in the world at what they do. ThermaSol engineers the most exceptional smart shower products and steam shower systems worldwide, full stop. And it's for a few reasons. First of all, they were the first company to design and patent the technology here in the United States, dating back to 1958. ThermaSol, a U.S.-based manufacturer based in Round Rock, Texas, employs an engineering team that designs, tests, and continuously refines the product. Their quality control team tests every single steam generator before it departs the factory. Who else does that? Nobody that I know of. I have the pleasure of working with some world-class designers and architects who tell me, and if you're in the business, you know this, that the idea of luxury has changed, especially when clients want a spa-like bathroom. Steam is mandatory, or it's just not considered a luxury. And if you want to add steam, you have only one true option, my opinion, and that's ThermaSol. Mitch Altman, third generation CEO of this family-owned company of 65 years, continues to innovate in the bathroom and shower space through technological marvels such as intelligent showering systems, sound therapy, aromatherapy, technical interfaces, and so much more. And now ThermaSol, the industry leader in steam bath equipment and technology since 1958, as I mentioned, is enhancing its already stellar family of products with the new indoor and outdoor luxury saunas available in 3 designs. The configurations are absolutely amazing, and you should probably go check them out. Indoor and outdoor options. It's amazing. You really do need to check them out. Go to thermasol.com or at ThermaSol on the socials.
Hi, I'm Jaime Rummerfield, and my design office is Jaime Rummerfield Interior Design.
And what I love, is sort of watching your journey is fun. It's always more fun watching somebody else's journey than watching your own, isn't it?
Always. I mean, I'm kind of watching my own journey from afar as well, so that's kind of fascinating too.
Tell me about, so you have gone off on your own.
Yep.
And what's it like? Because I don't think, the only thing I can really equate it to is if you were listening to the Howard Stern show and he's talking to an actor who is leaving a project that is incredibly successful, and he's telling him, because I used to work for the Stern show. It was
you did? Amazing.
When I was in radio.
He's great.
And his interviews are so amazing.
They are.
And when he would tell someone, so why are you leaving this? But people, creatives especially, have to grow. And you have to develop, and things change, and you move on, and you still work with Ron, with SIA, Save Iconic Architecture, and you guys, but talk to me about the journey.
A design journey is unique to oneself, for sure, as a creative person. And I've been doing this 3 decades, interior design. And yes, I had an amazing partner with Ron. That partnership was really a golden time, a golden era in LA design. We had a storefront, we had our design office, and we called it the salad days because it just was all the excitement. This is even pre-social media, just when the internet was actually big. And I'm dating myself right now, but I think seeing that almost a last bastion of design that has now evolved into a whole new era. And to be a hybrid designer in that way, whether it's understanding the old school way of doing interior design even before the internet existed, to now working with many generations of designers and leading or mentoring others has been a huge part of what makes me go. And as a creative person, to me, every chapter is just elevating who we are as a creative designer. And so I look at it like the military. Like, I am a colonel with all these, badges and honors and ornamentation on me. And it just, you just gain that level of status in the world of design.
What a gift, too, to be able to reset and relaunch.
Yeah.
It's got to be scary, but it's also got to be really exciting.
Yeah, I think, growth is taking a step outside of your comfort zone. If you're not growing, you're just stagnant. So I'm all for rising above, status quo always. And there's so much to do, in my opinion, when it comes to design and even preservation work here in Los Angeles. There's much to be done, and there's so much beauty that needs to be handed out that there's just not enough of it. And that's what makes me go, is to create beautiful spaces and, work with others who want that.
Yeah, totally. And it's so funny because of all the conversations you and I have had, and we have had so many, I remember the first time you were on Convo By Design, I didn't interview you.
Oh, yeah? Who was it?
Do you remember?
No.
Christine Anderson.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. Love her. And
loved her
miss
too.
her,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and it was, for me, it was one of those things where I actually got to sit back and listen to, a legend in design publicity talk to 2 legends of Southern California design.
Yeah.
And I learned so much, and we've since had so many great conversations. The idea, though, of with Woodson and Rummerfield,
Yeah.
this Hollywood Regency,
Mm-hmm.
and here's what I love about it, and here's what I want to dig a little deeper on.
For sure.
To take a concept that had already existed for decades,
Yes.
but then to personalize it,
Mm-hmm.
to modernize it,
Mm-hmm.
to make it a specialty, that's got to be so rewarding, and to still see how that sort of transformed an entire era
Mm-hmm.
of design.
Yeah. Yeah, Hollywood Regency originated right here in our neck of the woods, which is why we're such proponents of the style. And it's such a reflection on the lifestyle of Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Truesdale. And to be able to harness that and carry it forward, it's not about copying, it's not about taking something and claiming it as your own. It's actually just carrying that torch forward. And so I'm a native Angelino, and that is my heritage. And what I focus on now as an interior designer is historic properties, heritage interior design, and that is my expertise. And so when it comes to Hollywood Regency, it's a part of my makeup, and it didn't just get invented in the early 2000s. And it was a wonderful era for Regency because it was a modern mix of the old and the new. A lot of bold color, which I think we miss a lot. And for me, I'm a maximalist, and that is my DNA, and I will always do that. So there are many more projects like that to come.
And that's what I love too. Talk to me about this for a minute. I have this idea, this theory about suitability with regard to clients and designers. And I think oftentimes clients don't really think about the suitability of the designer that they're working with. It's so important.
It is. The suitability and the right fit with a designer and a client is huge. I think, again, with social media, every designer or decorator kind of get lumped together in the same category. You can't gauge the expertise or the experience, whether you're young, old, where you came from, it's all a blend, and it's just based on visuals. But I think, the proof is in the pudding when it comes to the work that a designer does. And for me, it is experience, education, and also an understanding of what someone needs and wants. And I think I also do a feasibility study with clients, and if it's not the right fit, it's good to know very early on. And so I think that asking the right questions, understanding the budget, and also being able to guide the client as to what they can expect is so key.
And also the passion here's what I love. You have taken the passion that you have for iconic architecture, historical properties, and your love and passion for design. And while you're not exclusive to Hollywood Regency, there is a spot in your heart for Hollywood Regency.
Yes.
But to be able to combine those two passions and say, okay, this is where I kind of want to narrow focus my firm a little bit. I feel like that's got to be a little bit freeing.
Yeah.
And it has to be helpful.
It is to really hone in on an expertise such as heritage or historic architecture and interiors. It really is my major next steps. And it is because of all the preservation work I've done with Save Iconic Architecture and the knowledge base that I'm really passionate about. So my background is in history of architecture, history of furniture, history of art. So really having that knowledge to carry forward is what I want to share with my clients, and I have that as a resource to give. And so that is my niche. I definitely focus on heritage interior design.
And it's interesting too, because one of our last conversations revolved around 1001 North Roxbury. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's funny because I can see in your eye that you're still seething over it.
Yes.
Here's what's really interesting about that to me. You have a property in Beverly Hills, which the dirt sold for $49 million.
Right.
They're going to put another 80 or 100 million into it, and you're going to have this thing,
something different,
and it's going to be wonderful, and it's probably going to be spectacular.
With the team that's on there, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah. At the same time, there is value to salvation of historical projects.
100%.
And it doesn't mean you have to live in an old drafty mansion.
Right.
It can be modernized smartly.
Yes. I think 1001 Roxbury Drive is a great example of a storied piece of architecture that is so important to a community, whether it's written on paper that way or not. The outcry from Beverly Hills community was so large. Not to mention it was it's a street that was so well known to represent Beverly Hills architecturally, celebrity-wise. It was across the street from Lucille Ball's house. I mean, it just was a big part of what Hollywood was built on, and that is our history and heritage of the city in the broader, span of Los Angeles. And so watching that very neglectfully get demolished was so painful, not only for me as a preservationist, but for a community at large. And so what we really work towards is how can we combine and have the old and the new coexist? Because yes, preserving or adaptive reuse is the best form of recycling and better for the environment. I think all the windows and doors, all of the historic elements of that house they went to the landfill. And so what we try to focus on is how do you take something that's wonderfully old and bring it into the 21st century? And in design, that is our job, to have it coexist wonderfully and beautifully, but in a mindful way. And that's a really important part that takes effort.
So when you are working on your projects now, talk to me a little bit about the historical reference you apply, modernization in materiality. I mean, the design, look, there is good design, there is bad design.
Yeah.
And there's everything in between.
Sure.
Right? But good design takes into account a lot of things.
Right.
It's form and function, it's style, it's usability, it's...
Yes.
You've taken all of the things that you've got historically from Woodson and Rummerfield and all the things that you've been doing
Right.
for decades, and now you're applying it in a new technique. Do you look for different types of clients now?
I do. So I look for clients who really do care about the architecture and what they're putting into the space. It's not just about the cheapest find or how can I get it for less, or I don't care about a certain material. In this approach, it's much more about the quality of lifestyle and the storytelling behind the space. And so it starts with the architecture. Usually it is someone who has purchased or has had a home that is notable, has a notable heritage, and then wanting to carry that story into the interior. And so whether it's the light fixtures, the fixture, the hardware fixtures, to the furnishings, there's at least a love. There's love there for what each piece has, and that's what brings joy to their world on a daily basis. And there's so much value in that versus just having maybe a nice house or a nice car and then really cheap junk on the interior. And that is not the client for me. That is not the fit for me. So I am really clear about working with clients who want to invest in their lifestyle. They want to have the education on the historic details of their home all the way through the furnishings and materials as well to really complement as a whole.
I love that. And for those listening, if you want to go see Jamie's work, check the show notes because we're going to have a link to her website and to her projects. And you'll be hearing more from Jamie coming up. This was awesome. Thanks for doing this.
Amazing. Thank you. It's been like decades that we've been working together. Good reminder, too, about Christine. So thank you. That was a sweet note.
You are listening to my conversations with Jaime Rummerfield and Marcos Santa Anna from the Designer Showcase event at Design Hardware. That was Jaime Rummerfield. Up next, Marcos Santa Anna. The absolute best specifying designers, architects, and landscape designers are all highly focused on the technology and performance of products and materials today. You just have to be. And you have to because the products you specify for your projects have to perform and they have to last. That is one of the reasons why I am so incredibly proud to be working with TimberTech. Their focus on the technical renaissance of synthetic decking is literally changing the conversation about innovation and performance. It pulls focus on three priorities homeowners have and expect from the products their designers and architects specify for their luxury projects. 1, the aesthetics must match the overall design and fit visually. 2, durability and maintenance. I've told you my board flipping stories about my own wood decks over the years. Clients not only want beauty, but they want ease of use and they want it to last for decades. 3, sustainably made. Clients are more conscious about the environment and they want the same of their materials and the companies that manufacture their materials. TimberTech hits each one of these elements with a product that not only meets expectations, they exceed them. TimberTech makes a synthetic decking that looks just like wood. Color and embossed wood grain for a natural appearance. Their composite decking is technologically superior. It's been created to last for decades, and it's manufactured with up to 85% recycled materials. 85% recycled materials. Their advanced PVC vintage and landmark collections have a Class A flame spread rating, making these products an amazing choice for wildfire-prone areas, which unfortunately continues to grow on the risk map. Check the show notes for more information about this and to find the nearest showroom or lumberyard where you can find TimberTech. You can also check them out directly, timbertech.com. As a busy professional designer, you know how important it is to find the right partnerships. Partnerships that allow you to specify the right products for every project. Professionals like you don't just have time to sit around and waste, right? So let me tell you about one of my partnerships. Pacific Sales is here to serve you with expert, knowledgeable, and non-commissioned professionals to help you specify the right product for all your projects. Non-commissioned. That means their only incentive is your satisfaction. Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, has just that, with over 60 years of service in Southern California. Pacific Sales is your destination for exploration, advice, and inspiration. And you will find all your favorite brands, like Monogram, and their commitment to providing exceptional products, starting with materials. Monogram sources commercial-grade stainless steel on their refrigerators, unscratchable sapphire glass on their cooktop knobs, durable marine-grade bearings on their dishwasher racks. Monogram takes inspiration from the leading-edge materials used in the high-end automotive and aeronautics industry to provide you with lasting beauty and exceptional quality. The beauty is backed by the same level of attention to performance, which is why Monogram appliances are trusted and sought after by chefs all over the country. Chain-driven French oven doors that can be opened with one hand, and an industry-exclusive hearth oven that allows for all-electric indoor brick oven-style cooking without the need for external ventilation. These are just a few of the things that make Monogram so special. Pacific Sales features Monogram appliances, and Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home team is here to help you and offer their Pro Rewards program, which is a trade program unlike any you have experienced before. And here's the cherry on top: access. Access to exclusive builder trade incentives from top brands like Monogram. Visit a Pacific Sales showroom today to learn how you can unlock additional savings and benefits. Don't miss out on the opportunity to work with the best of the best. Visit Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home today and elevate your projects to new heights. Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, where excellence meets expertise.
Hi, I'm Marco Santa Ana, founding architect for Alloi Architecture and Construction. I'm also a general contractor here in Los Angeles, and we're also certified passive house designers. Our firm kind of specializes in contemporary homes, design and construction, with kind of a special edge with respect to feng shui and high performance buildings.
What is high performance? Hold on one second. High performance buildings. What does that mean?
High performance buildings, it's a complicated word, but in the end of the day, essentially we're creating homes that are more comfortable for the users inside. There's a lot of complicated backstory approaches, which I can get into, but at the end of the day, it's really to help the interior space feel more comfortable. And also it helps with energy reduction and savings to the homeowner.
Tell me the story. How'd you get into this?
That's a long story, but
give me the version, but not the Cliff Notes, but give me the halfway story.
The halfway story? Okay. When I was 10 years old, my parents back in New York, they remodeled their home, and my father was a construction coordinator. Back in New York, he was building large buildings with IBM back in the day. And so one of his good friends was an architect who also worked at IBM. And so he was the architect who designed our house. We lived down the street. So my uncle actually was a general contractor. So he built the house for us. I was right down the street. I was a 10-year-old kid. I would visit the job site pretty much every week or so, every couple of days. It became sort of like a jungle gym of amazement. I saw the blueprints, I saw the construction, and from there, I was kind of obsessed with this architecture and construction world.
Yeah, but why? What do you like most about it?
What I love about architecture and construction is the fact that you can solve creative problems. And so in the end of the day, I look at each building as an opportunity to create something that goes above and beyond the natural world in some ways. So if you've ever been to Italy or the Pantheon, and if you walk in the Pantheon and you see the light coming through the oculus, that experience of transcendental environments is something that you can create with high-level architecture.
And now we find ourselves talking about high-performance architecture, passive homes. It's absolutely fascinating to me what's capable now.
That's true. Yeah, with high-performance homes and the passive house world, you can create homes that are so airtight that it almost feels like a library. So if you're living in an urban environment and it's very noisy outside or there's air pollutants, you can live in a house where it feels like you're living in a library or a Zen sanctuary. So it's very nice to live in these types of homes.
And what's the goal from an architectural standpoint?
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating now what's being done with architecture, and it's this thought leadership that's taking place now, which is basically showing what's possible. What used to be just sort of an idea is now real, and it's amazing to me how it's happening. How does it happen for you? How are you watching this and sort of gathering to the side of the things that you really want to work at? Because I've seen architecture change over the last 15, 20 years in ways that I've never seen it change before.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think with the onset of technology is one approach where we're able to leverage different design iterations through both 3D modeling and also with fabrication as well. So we use a 3D modeling software called Revit to do all of our design approach, and we also have in-house renderings as well. So we're able to show a client something where the lighting is accurate, the materials are accurate, so it really gives them approach to experience the house way before we even put the shovel in the ground. So that's been very helpful.
Personally speaking, because I get this. A designer or an architect, I could ask you all day what you like and what you don't like, and it really doesn't matter at the end of the day because your clients tell you what they want, right?
That's right.
But I'm curious, what do you like from an architectural style? What do you lean towards?
Yeah, the architectural style that I lean towards is more of the minimalist projects that provide a sense of Zen harmony. We always try to create an environment, especially with the homes we work on, where as a homeowner drives up to their house, the second they step out of their car, they instantly enter into an experience that causes a relaxation sensation. So from the entrance, from the street, as they proceed through the landscape to the front door, and then as they enter the house. So the goal is to always have an experience of relaxation. So obviously, work can be very busy and stressful. So the goal of our homes are really to give a sense of Zen relaxation. And that's achieved through the overall design of the homes, but also through the detailing. We like to make sure that the experiences and all the rooms are actually minimalist. One of the key elements is to minimize the visual clutter. So for example, if you look up on the ceiling, if you have recessed lights, fire sprinklers, you have motion detectors, we try to look at that plane or the ceiling as a very critical surface. And so if we can provide lighting, but yet not show the light fixture, that's another approach we use to kind of lend this whole overall gestalt or design sentimentality.
Isn't it amazing too? And it's interesting because from your upbringing in New York and seeing sort of how the architectural world works in New York and coming to LA where it's turned absolutely on its head,
right,
where experimentally, creatively, you can do and try new things. And it's interesting to sort of say that because New York, you think of the Guggenheim and you think of other, experimental architectural structures,
right,
but you don't get that same sort of, the way that it's viewed is like, oh, that was different. That was experimental in nature. You come out here to Southern California in the 1950s, you can do that. You can try new things. As an architect, do you still lean, I think I know the answer to this because we're talking about performative housing and passive housing. Right. The experimental nature of architecture, how does that inform the way you work?
Yeah, well, one of the benefits of Southern California, as you mentioned, is the experimentality. It's kind of built into the environment. So we sort of look at every project as a blank slate. Obviously, you have the local context of the neighborhood, and even in LA, you can go from house to house. There could be a very high range of variability between the styles. So we look at each particular project, look at the natural context, of course, the solar analysis, and all these features, client's budget, client's goals, and their wish lists, as well as their design sensibilities. But yeah, a lot of our clients come to us for the creative aspect of our design. Some of our clients say, can you please just give us something that's super creative that we're not thinking about? Because they're looking sometimes at HGTV and they can kind of get pigeonholed into, oh, this is the modern farmhouse and this is so they're looking to us to really break out of the mold. And so we really appreciate those clients.
What was your favorite project that you've ever designed?
One of the projects that's on the boards right now, it's a multifamily project, 4-unit. We call it the Brutalist Fairfax multifamily. So it's sort of a blend between brutalism and modernism. We draw inspiration from kind of really basic concrete structures that, like a Louis Kahn project, for example. So if we can bring that element of interesting materials to a smaller scale project, even in the urban environment here in LA, we find that to be pretty interesting. So that's one of my interesting projects that we're working on right now.
Is it all formed concrete?
No, it's not. So it's going to be a smooth trowel plaster in the color of concrete. So one of the issues that you come into with developers, they want a certain look, has to hit a certain ROI or a budget. So we proposed the raw concrete look, but it looks like we're going to be building with a smooth plaster for that project.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Now,
Yeah.
Now, the interior, does it fit the Bauhaus? Does it fit the modernism? Does it fit the minimalism? Does it fit like all of the other elements that you love so much?
Yeah, this particular project, there are 4 units. Each unit is about 1,000 square feet, and they're 3-2s. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So you have the kitchen, living, dining, which is one open space, and each unit has their own private balcony. So we tried to condense all of these design features into a compact space, particularly for multifamily. And as you may know, the state of California is in a housing crisis. And so this is trying to figure out how can we expand housing, but also keep them more on the affordable side. So that's the goal of blending design with affordability.
That is very cool. Is that on the website?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
You can find it on the website.
All right. So listen, this is very cool. I love this. So for those listening, if you want to see it, what we're going to do is go to the show notes, and you will have a link to Marcos, the website, alloi.us, right?
That's right.
And we'll have a link to it so you can go check it out. Marcos, thank you.
Thanks so much. Great to talk to you.
Design Hardware's newly remodeled showroom is where you will find a gallery-style space with a thoughtful display of products, purposefully positioned to allow unbridled exploration and discovery. High-end faucets, luxury tile, natural stone, wood floors, and bespoke hardware selections are presented in a holistic manner, strategically arranged to stimulate creativity and transition your vision from the conceptual stage to a fully realized space. Conveniently located, free parking available. Stop by to find your inspiration. Collect samples, get expert advice, and tackle everything on your shopping list all in one place. Visit them online at designhardware.com or in the real world, 6053 West 3rd Street in Los Angeles. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Marcos. By the way, if you are listening to this on the day we publish, November 12th, you still have time to see both of these amazing creative designers, as well as dozens more at the West Edge Design Fair, November 14th through the 16th at Barker Hangar in Santa Monica. Check the show notes for a link to get tickets to the show and see all the incredible programming produced by yours truly, Convo by Design. And if you do come, make sure you come out and say hi. Thank you to my incredible partner sponsors, Thermosol, Design Hardware, Pacific Sales, Monogram, and TimberTech. These are all fantastic partners with exceptional products and services to match. Thank you for listening to the show and sharing Convo by Design with your friends, coworkers, and colleagues who you think might enjoy it as well. Always love new listeners and those who share the show with those new listeners. So thank you. Please keep the guest and show suggestions coming. Convo by Design at outlook.com and on Instagram, Convo by Design with an X. Until next week, be well and take today first.